All right, so tonight I'm going to be speaking about insecurity. And so to start, I want you all to think about a time where you felt you weren't good enough. Now, this could be a time you didn't make the cut for a team. Maybe someone said something incredibly hurtful to you, or you didn't feel good about the way you looked or what you were wearing. And I ask this question because no matter who we are, at some point in our life, we've all felt insecure. And insecurity is simply this. It's the feeling that I don't measure up. And this is a feeling that I've struggled with for a large majority of my life, and it's something that a lot of people our age struggle with. We live in a world where suicide is the third leading cause of death among young people, and about 20% of all teens experience depression before they reach adulthood. And these numbers are just not indicative of a culture of people who is confident in who they are, who is secure in who they are. They're believing these lies that they aren't worthy and that they aren't good enough. And that's the question that I'm asking tonight is, do you believe that you are good enough? Because for a lot of us, the answer to this is no. Maybe not all the time, but at least some of the times the answer is no. And how do we find the truth that this answer is actually yes? And I think we have to go to Ephesians 2:10, which says, "For we are God's handiwork, created in Christ Jesus to do good works, which God prepared in advance for us to do." And I really like the beginning of this verse where it says, "For we are God's handiwork," because it makes me think of art, like a sculpture or a painting. And as we know, art is incredibly valuable. And what makes it valuable is the time it takes to build this art, the material cost, but so much more is the design. An artist takes so much pride in his work. He puts in so much time to think about what he wants it to be, creates it as he wants it to be. In the same way, God has done that for all of you guys. All of you are exactly as he wanted you to be. And something else I was thinking about is just artists don't create work unfinished and put it in a gallery. In the same way, God did not let you be born unfinished. He created you exactly how he wanted you to be, and you're exactly as he wanted you to be, like you are finished work when you were born. You don't have to do anything to get that value. You are valuable from the moment you are born. And even more than this, the second part of this verse, it says, "We are created in Christ Jesus to do good works, which God prepared in advance for us to do." That before we're even born, not only are we beautifully made, but there's a purpose for us, that we're not just here to live every day, wake up, but there's something more for us. He's given us a purpose, and that gives us value, that there's something for us. And this is just so important, accepting who God has created you to be, because the devil is going to try so hard to steal that from you, to steal that purpose from you, to steal that joy from you. He's done it for me for a long time, to drown out the truth of God, that you are good enough and you are worthy. But we have to try so hard to speak that into your lives. Even if you don't believe it, just every day look in the mirror and say, "I am worthy and I am loved," because that is the only way you can drown out the lies that the devil is trying to put on you to steal what God has in store for you. It is so important to accept your value in Christ, and I think the real goal is knowing who created you and the value that gives you, because for a long time I struggled with the expectations that other people's put on me, whether it was getting a good enough grade or running a fast enough time during track or being funny enough. But chasing after these things, with your insecurity, you're going to try so hard to fill it, but no matter what you do, you're never going to be good enough in your own mind. And the only way to understand that you are good enough is that you believe that you are God's handiwork, that you are beautifully and wonderfully made, that there is a purpose for you. And just speaking that over yourself every day is going to go so far that at some point you will start to believe it through that repetition. It doesn't happen overnight. It happens over time, and it's just that repeated process. Even when you don't feel it, you preach it to yourself. You have people that come into your life and speak that over you. It is so important to understand that who God says you are is greater than what anyone else says about you, no matter what you're feeling, no matter what you're going through. Understanding that God's truth, that you are valuable, is so important. And so to close out, I want you all to get a pen from the seat back in front of you or under your seat, depending on where it is. I want you to all write on your hand the word handiwork. That way, at least for tonight, you will have that reminder that you are worthy and that you are valuable through God, that you are God's handiwork, you are his art, and that no one can take that from you.